that, I'd like to introduce our experts on economic development, Bill Stevens and Dick Schlauerbaum, and they're going to take over the presentation from here. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, Bill Stevens. I've been in Taos 25 years in wonderful retirement after working at Sandia National Labs for 30 years. My avocation, not my vocation, I'm not an economist, but my avocation is economic development statistics. And I've been at this since roughly, looking at Fred Winter here, he can remember 1997. I think we first started this that led to the Taos Economic Report, which we'll examine in a few minutes. But that's a snapshot in time, the second quarter of this year of 2010. An overview of kind of what I've learned in 20, 30 years here and what I think is important, in my personal opinion, on what's driving Taos economy now. And if that doesn't stir up some discussion, I'll be very disappointed. Now, I certainly don't expect to remember any of these numbers, but I'm going to highlight a few of them I think are really important to keep in mind, if you'll bear with me. So what we've done is we've taken business activity, redone it, not going to talk about it much, talk more about employment, some about personal income. You don't have to get down here. The demographics, which I think are very important. But let's begin with the top, please. We have three columns. I like to think of this as the up to 2000, the 90s really. This is the early 2000s, and the last 3 years being the late 2000s. When I started in this business, it was a real pleasure to be able to see a community where you were having steadily 5, 6, 7% every reporting period increase in business activity. Hey, this was a good time in Taos. That's an impressive, really, this was 5%, then you jumped to 7.5%, and now you're down. If you take each annual parameter, each annual year in this case, and then look at the change over 3 years, the change over 3 years is down 8% overall.
Total business activity?
Yep. And then I broke them down. Go this way a little bit, Steve, please. I broke them down into the major categories: retail, trade, services, and construction. Okay. And when he gets that number, you're going to be 29%. And that's total gross receipts in construction, and that includes all the roads they built in the early and the mid 2000s here in Taos, the intersection. That's government money. That's not business that's not going to be tomorrow. That's past at a point in time. And now, this year, as I pointed out, it's the judicial complex has been started. So I think if you really did a study of construction as an entity, we may want to do that someday. It's a lot bigger than that. That's gross receipts. We'll look at it in employment and other parameters. We had double-digit increases in construction and services.